Make the strings louder.
Alright guys, so I just got back to the shop today. And my buddy helped me unload the two bikes out of the back of the truck. The spare engine, the spare tank, the spare radiator and all that stuff, and shock. So I didn't really go over this thing a whole lot, but yeah, this has adjustable rear sets with full Leo Vince titanium exhaust. Looks like a full system. It was a race bike. You can see everything's all kind of like safety wire tied and stuff. It has some Vortex little clip-on things. You can see how far they rode it over, so they're definitely riding this thing like it should be ridden. Same thing on this side, adjustable rear thing, a little Penske racing shock, a dead battery, some clip-on things, a dent in the tank, a little race cap thing right here, some HID. So I don't know what happened to the audio on this thing. Sometimes my head cam gets angry at me. So we're just going to fast forward through this. Imagine me talking about the KTM, pointing at wires, being like, I don't know what these do, and then pointing at myself and saying I'm stupid for buying these things, but let me take it apart because now I have to. Pulled off the big old giant seat, tested some electrical connectors. Nothing had power. The only thing that had power was basically the battery. So looking at things, and yeah, we're getting audio again. This is definitely new to me. Kind of figuring out. Air filter looks clean though, that's good. I'm going to play with it a little bit more, and I'll let you guys know what I find out. Alright, so I didn't get very far in here because honestly I don't really know like what to do or what should have power, because there's really the only thing I was kind of thinking is maybe this thing's bad. Maybe it's not bad, I don't know. I just don't know where it's going to get switched power from, because nothing has power up here. Like none of these wires have any sort of power going to them, which they kind of go to these little relay things right here. So maybe these relays are bad, or maybe some of this wiring. You can see I kind of untaped it, and you can see where somebody did that. I don't know if that's, I'm assuming that's not factory, but kind of an odd combination of things. And you can see up here there's basically the red with a white trace, and then going to that, and then for the actual start button it is like blue. I don't know, it's hard to see in there, but it's like a blue and a black wire, but I don't know, I could only take one of the wires over here. But anyhow, I got the battery for the motorcycle out. I actually ended up bleeding the brakes. I went ahead and right here it was basically I just let a bunch of air out of that, and then I started and kind of bled each side a little bit, and then the rear I basically pulled out this little bolt. I went ahead and I ordered a like a used little reservoir thing right here, but I get it so it has a little bit of pressure in the back at least. And so yeah, I'm gonna run to probably Walmart real quick and just get one of these, just so I could throw in that bike, and hopefully we'll have a running bike here in like an hour. Alright guys, so we just got back to the shop. I got the battery. I just went to Walmart and got one. It was like 50 bucks, and so it is like an AGM, but you have to add acid to it, let it sit for like 30 minutes, and then let it charge for like a minimum of like 2 to 4 hours at like 2 amps. So kind of sucks that I won't be able to actually just throw it in and take it for a ride, but honestly it's not the best weather conditions outside anyhow. It's all wet and cold and snowy, and not super snowy, but it's still pretty cold outside. But yeah, I guess I could show you guys outside, even though you might have seen it earlier, but see, it's not terrible. I could probably find like a decent spot in the road to actually drive it, but yeah, so I'm just gonna let that be, and I'm gonna start messing with the KTM a little bit after I look up like some wiring diagrams and stuff, see if I could figure out a little bit of stuff on the internet. Alright guys, so I got the bike all basically torn down to about right here. Kind of looking at some of the wires and stuff right here to see if anything has rubbed. I was watching some YouTube videos, and I guess now looking at everything, it just kind of makes sense. Like, the wiring on this just absolutely kind of sucks. So if you look at all of these connectors, none of them are like waterproof or anything like that. So you can see wires just basically exposed in and out. They I don't know, the connectors, they just kind of slide together. The wires are just kind of all bunched and on top of each other and on places that could potentially rub. So yeah, I'm thinking there's an issue with this starter solenoid, or there's something further down the line, because as soon as you give the thing power that is supposed to actually kick on the ignition of this thing, it instead what it does is it goes ahead and it does this fuse, or it pops that fuse. So I think I'm going to go to we have a KTM dealership not too far from here, so I'm going to go to them tomorrow, see if they have one of these. And then after that, I guess the other option is to get a different wiring harness, maybe. I mean, I got power, and I kind of got some of this stuff figured out, given some of the things power. But there's not like a whole lot of information on the internet as far concerning all this stuff. But you could see like this tape right there. I don't really think that's factory. So, and then kind of the same thing on this side. There's some stuff up here, like all of that wiring basically right there. Like none of that's factory. That's like aftermarket, not aftermarket, but that's somebody's custom tape job. So, I think the best thing to do would be kind of start over. I mean, I really don't want to throw money at this thing without knowing for sure that it's not like a fried ECU or something stupid like that. But I don't know. Like I said, that wiring harness, that whole harness is like $280 or so, but that doesn't include any of this stuff up here. It ties into this stuff, but it doesn't replace everything. Also, that's not eliminating. That's not saying that that's going to fix my problem, because there could be, sensors or some other things that are kind of messed up with it as well. I'm not super happy with this bike right now, because earlier, I don't know, something with this kickstand, it was being stupid and basically kind of, I don't know, it basically fell over here, and then the bike was leaning like way down. There's a weird spring on there, and I was trying to take it off, and I had a pair of vice grips on it. I was like pushing down with it, and so as you could imagine, I was pushing down with a pair of vice grips like right here, and basically just pushed down. It like broke, and then I hit my finger off of that and basically like ripped a chunk of my finger right there. So I'm already like regretting the bike just for that. The battery is about done charging, but I don't know, I'm ready to go home for the night. I was inspecting kind of some of the extra parts that came with this bike. So complete engine and transmission. I didn't really realize how awesome and how clean this was when I got it. It was just kind of on a pallet under some shrink wrap, and I was like, oh, it comes with a motor, cool. But it comes with a motor, and it's like super clean. The gas tank's pretty clean, and that's real nice too, because that one has a dent, and these things are definitely expensive. Over here in this box, there's actually a sorry, I don't have my headlamp on right now. Watch. So if you can see in there, that's basically a complete like transmission gear set for it. So like I said, this motor, supposedly it has like 1,500 miles on it, a little bit of race time, and but I guess sometimes it pops out of third gear. So who knows? Maybe it does pop out of third gear. Maybe it needs like the fluid changed or something like that. Like I said, the guy who I got it from, he didn't know like a whole lot about it, because he kind of bought it from one of his buddies, and it used to be his buddy's race bike. But it has title and all that stuff, and painted flat black or whatever with the HIDs, and a couple of little random things missing. But I'm gonna quit rambling. I'm gonna go home for the night. Try to see if I can figure out anything else on the internet as far as this KTM goes. Then we'll try to start a solenoid tomorrow. But I would like to get this thing going. If all else fails, we'll go for a ride on that thing tomorrow, and that'll be it. Alright, back at the shop today. So, let's see, I guess we'll go ahead and throw this battery in. I let it basically charge for like 3 hours last night, so it should be good to go. If it doesn't fall. Okay. So I got the battery in it and I got it fired up, and I rode it down the street, and it seems like it shifts all right, but it kind of has a weird spot in, like, feels like kind of third gear, where it almost feels like it, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It feels like it wants to, like, lock up, or I don't know, it just felt kind of clunky going into third, or like cruising in third gear. Actually, when I downshifted from fourth to third. We're gonna throw on my helmet real quick, and I'm gonna go for a quick little ride and kind of see what I think about it. Hey guys, so I got, well, I basically gave this guy a rinse off after giving it a ride, and I put this thing all back together. Not really all back together, I loosely put it together, put some of the nuts and bolts in a bag, and I need to kind of figure out exactly what I'm going to do with it, which I'm pretty sure it involves just going ahead and ordering that wiring harness. It like 280 bucks for like an OEM one, new from KTM, but it won't ship for like, I think it's like almost 10 days, or 7 to 10 days is when it'll actually ship, because I think they actually have to get it here from somewhere. It's not something that's actually in stock. So plus shipping. So we're looking at like, you know, almost like 15 days or so, or 2 weeks before I'd be able to actually have a harness for it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and order the starter relay and probably just order the wiring harness. The other thing is on eBay there's actually a guy that has a 2012 200 XCWF or something, which is like the non-street legal version, but it does have the headlight in it. And the part number is like two off, and the only thing I could think that would be different is that it doesn't actually have like the spots for like the turn signals and the headlights and all that. But it's 350 bucks, but it comes with like the ECU, all the little relays, and a couple other little things that are, you know, underneath the bike. I know the ECU probably wouldn't work, but it would be nice kind of having a couple of those other things. At the same time, I should probably just order like the OEM one from KTM. So we're like 2 weeks out before we could do anything significant with that. You know, I got it cranking over with the thing, but just the relay doesn't do anything. So maybe I should just order the relay, get that here, and then go from there, see if that actually fixes it before I order a wiring harness. But I don't really like that wiring harness, and they do have a lot of issues with them anyhow. So I probably should just do that. So that's what I'll do. Riding this bike around a little bit today. I mean, it sounds good. It feels pretty good. I mean, it feels like a solid bike. The only thing that sucks, it doesn't have like the turn signals and stuff. The weird thing is it basically kind of pops out. It doesn't really pop out, but it like feels like it jumps out of like almost second and third gear. It does. So like I really ripped on it in third gear, and it basically kind of revved up and then kind of like clunked back in, and it was kind of sketchy doing that. So that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. Like I showed you guys earlier in that box, or previously in the video, in that box over there, there's like a whole new gear set, but that basically involves pulling the whole engine out, and at that point I might as well just yank the engine, throw that other one in there, and then probably just list it, because that's pretty much the point of this bike anyhow, is just like a quick, you know, get rid of it type of thing, see what I could trade it for or sell it for or whatever. So that's probably what I should do, instead of messing with it and actually trying to figure that out. And then what I'd really like to do is do something with a go-kart, but I don't know, I have too damn many projects. So that's about it. I mean, this thing's a project. Everything's a damn project. Oh, hey guys. So yeah, we're gonna kind of end this video off in maybe doing some wheelies in the wheelchair or whatever. But I just want to talk to you guys and basically admit that I have a problem. So I think, how does that saying go, where it's like your eyes were bigger than your stomach? That's pretty much exactly what I have as far as projects, but it's with projects instead of food. So I love potential. So when there's potential in something, it's hard for me to let it go, I guess. So just like with these two motorcycles, I was simply looking on Craigslist for like a cheap pit bike, like a KLX 110, and ran across the first bike, and you know, kind of decided that, all right, you know, we'll pick that up, and because it's like too good of a deal. It's like too good of a deal to pass up, and it's like, damn it. And you know what? Even when I was driving up there to pick it up, I was like, damn it! Like, I don't have time for this. Like this, if it was just something, in order to get good deals on things, something has to be wrong with it. And that's where the potential comes in. Is you see the good deal and you're like, okay, well, it needs this, but it comes with the parts, and like all I have to do is put it in there. So yeah, that's kind of what happened with the first bike. And I was like, oh well, maybe I could do like this awesome trade idea where I could you know, trade it for like a pit bike and cash on top or something like that. But you know, now riding, I was hoping that it wasn't going to be as bad as it is with the transmission. But I'm definitely going to have to either pull that out or, you know, replace that engine with that spare one, and then figure out what to do with the engine that's currently in the bike. As far as, you know, maybe like a go-kart or something. But, you know, like I said, then there's that whole thing. It's like, when am I going to have time to build a go-kart within the next, like, year? Literally, I feel like I could just lock myself in the shop for the next year and just like turn off the internet and just go to work on projects, and they probably still like wouldn't all be done. The other thing, the KTM, that was on the way to pick up that other bike. I just looked on my phone and I was just like, oh wow, look at this, that's a hell of a deal. Like, I've been kind of wanting to get a trail bike, and I could probably trade this for like a KTM 350, and this thing's really cheap. So I feel like I got a better deal on the KTM as long as it actually works out. With only needing like a wiring harness and maybe that little, you know, starter solenoid. So there's definitely a lot more potential in the KTM, and I feel like a little bit less work, whereas the other bike is going to be like replacing the engine. But then when you get down to it, you're like, okay, well, the frame's kind of ugly, the plastics are kind of ugly. Then I don't want to turn into like a full restoration. Honestly, like, I'm kind of regretting buying them both. I wish I would have just been like, you know what, like, yeah, that's awesome that there's potential there, but I have potential in the shop already, and I just need to kind of move on and get working on some of my other projects. The other thing is the Saab that you see behind me. So it's almost done. It's pretty close. The front end to me kind of looks like it's a little bit tweaked, but I'm going to talk about that in another video. So that's pretty much why I kind of stopped working on it. But yeah, so I literally thought this thing, that was going to be like a 3-day project. You know, one day pulling them out, another day like kind of swapping it in, the next day like painting things and kind of buttoning stuff up, and then here it is, you know, a week and a half later. You know, I'm still kind of messing with it, which it's super close. If it wasn't for me kind of pausing on it, it would have probably already been done by now. But like I said, it might need to kind of go to the frame shop or whatever and do a little bit of tweaking to it, or I just need to throw, I don't know, I'll talk about that in another video. But so you guys should be seeing this on Valentine's Day, so you know, if you have a significant other, you know, that's awesome. If you guys don't and you got project cars, go out in the garage and give them some love. You know, that's I guess that's about it. I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry that I kind of rambled here at the end, but I feel like it's pretty much what you guys already know. I love potential, and it's very hard for me to pass it up, and you know, it's definitely kind of put me in a different position, you know, with the whole YouTube thing, or you know, kind of being like YouTube being the full-time thing for me now. Is I used to play around a lot on Craigslist, and you know, it was like when I was fixing something, I wasn't making videos about it. So I would basically just get it done real quick and didn't have to worry about videos or even worry about whether it was like a cool project or not. You know, and then now, you know, like with the Supra, this whole like past week and a half, I've basically been kicking myself in the ass. Like I could have repainted the Supra and ordered all the parts, and you know, the Supra would have been repainted by now, and I would have had a pile of parts sitting here in the shop, and yeah, like it was like I'm stupid, and I don't know. I feel like I'm letting a lot of you guys down with the whole Supra thing, and I'm kind of letting myself down by taking so long with it. The other thing is the Mustang is kind of a big project, you know. If I don't take it apart, I mean, but I know we are planning on drifting it this weekend, and seeing how it drifts automatic. So that'll be decent, or that'll be an interesting video. But you know, I really want to start tearing into that. But then the Supra is right there with that. And then the other thing is I really wanted to do a giveaway car at the beginning, like towards the beginning of this year. I actually wanted to have already been doing it, but you know, it's like the priorities. It's just I feel like I'm stupid sometimes. You know, like. Just need to pull my head out of my butt and I guess get to working on projects. And then I bought a damn wheelchair at the pawn shop for $20. I could do wheelies, but I guess it makes it more interesting when I do little chit chats with you. But anyhow, again, this is for this time. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think I should do with these bikes, and if you think I'm stupid. I know a lot of you guys, it doesn't matter what I put out. You guys will watch it anyhow, but. I guess those are the people that matter the most anyhow, but see you later.